viewers, and welcome to our newest documentary. I'm Antdog.
I'm Deadman.
And we will be talking about the human body, who was suggested by...
Elite-X-Men 12.
And he suggested in our last video to do the human body along with two other topics, so we will get onto the human body. So anything else you want to add before we start, Deadman?
So human body, essentially what human body is pretty much the interesting thing that many people have been also researching it for many years. So pretty much today we will try to explain you in a really easy way what a human body essentially is. And everything is also made for educational purposes. So everything that you will hear today is complete science.
Yes, because we are qualified in the Minecraft documentary department to explain this and educate you on topics.
And just to say, just to prove how qualified we are, everything will be taken for the medical science ship.
Yes, so let's move on. The first object.
The human body. Let's do this.
And right now, we are here at the eyes. The eyes is what helps us see, it lets us perceive light and colors with the rods and cones in the eyes, and they're pretty sensitive, wouldn't you say?
They're pretty sensitive. So, now to say generally what eyes are, now to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, eyes are organs of the visual system. They provide organisms vision and the ability to process visual detail, as well as enabling several further response functions that are independent of vision. Eyes delect the light and convert it into electrochemical impulses in neurons. And higher organisms, the eye's complex optical system, which collects light from the surrounding environment, regulates its intensity through the diaphragm, and then focuses through the adjustable assembly of lenses to form an image. Now, to say it on short, eyes are a very helpful part, a very helpful organ to see the world that is in front of us.
And next, we have the nose, which helps us smell.
So nose is also part of the breathing system. Now without nose, normal human will be able to breathe. So yeah, that's about it for the nose.
You'll be able to breathe. It's mostly made of cartilage. There's no bones in the nose, so it's kind of easy.
Well, there kind of is in the middle. It's the, how do you call it?
Oh, the bridge of the nose, there is a little bit of bone, and but the rest pretty much is made up of cartilage, which isn't bone. It's kind of like a softer material, and that's why you're able to kind of move it a bit, but...
Oh yeah, well that's true. So. Okay, moving on to the mouth part. So next we're moving on to the mouth. So mouth is the first, how to say it, is the first part of the digestive system. This is basically the part where all the food starts to get digested. So as we can see, this is the main part that is the tongue. With the tongue we taste
and
the food.
With the millions of taste buds that are on the tongue. And contrary to believe how taste is separated along the tongue, like with sour, salt, and stuff on different parts of it, that's actually not true, because we taste everything equally the same. There isn't a part of the tongue that tastes sour. There isn't a part that only tastes salty. It's actually just all the way, because the tongue is
why most of the people are picky when it comes to food.
And actually, the tongue is the strongest muscle in our body, too.
That is true. Because let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, some people don't like certain foods. And this is especially because we have these different taste buds. So mouth can also be used for various types of actions. It can be used for eating. It can be used for kissing. It can be used for the various other types that shall not be mentioned.
Talking.
And also for talking. Yeah. How could I not get that before? So, yeah.
And in the mouth, not only is the tongue there, but it also has teeth. And that teeth actually help with the digestive system, breaking down food, so the stomach has to do all the work and stuff.
That is correct. So, next the part of the body is the torso. Now, torso is the part which includes the whole body and the hand. Doc, please go.
So the torso mostly contains all the organs in our body inside of it, along with the majority of our bones too. Actually, well, maybe not even the majority, but the contains the rib cage, has our spine, our other organs like lungs, hearts, liver, and stuff like that. And also, what connects has arms, and the arms have hands at the ends, which we use to grab and use for various activities, and like eating, playing sports, and any other.
And various other
Yeah, and also,
actions.
the torso has nipples. Depending, now it doesn't even matter, males and females, because we were all born female, or we were all female before we were born. So even male, that's is why males have nipples, and that's actually a question that gets asked a lot. So
And actually asking a lot, but it all depends if you're a male or a female. Going to the next part of the body, we have legs.
yes. Now,
Now right here we have the good example of, well, when it happens that your feet is broken, or if we should say, how would you say if you get
Amputated.
if you get your leg removed.
if you get your leg
This is how it
amputated,
looks like if you have your amputated leg. Now you mostly get amputated leg when
you have cancer. If you have cancer in a various part and you want it to stop spreading, then you can get your leg amputated, or not even your leg. You can even get your arm amputated, with that matter. Like if there's some medical problem then that requires you to get it cut off, then you'll get a prosthetic. And with the prosthetic, it connects, or it basically acts as like a fake leg, so you're not walking around with crutches all the time, or you're not in a wheelchair. You're
that's also way easier.
Yeah, you're able to do the activities you still want to do. So like if you're in sports, you can still run and dance or do anything and walk around. So, and it's help with, especially with the advances in the medical field, with technology and stuff, where especially with arm amputations. Especially with arm amputations, we're actually going to be able to feel what you are touching. So it's cool. It's
So
science.
that's about the leg. So now we're going to the next part that is called the rib cage. Now, first I'm gonna say just a couple of words, and then I'm gonna let it to Antdog. Just for the general, rib cage is obviously a part where the lungs and heart is kept. Now talk forward.
The rib cage, I guess you can say, it protects the lungs and the heart. It contains other other things in there, like your esophagus, which goes down under the stomach, and your stomach is right under the rib cage. But we're not gonna get ahead of ourselves. Rib cage is kind of a vital thing, keeping our chest up all the time, so our lungs don't so it doesn't, like, our chest doesn't collapse in our own self, you know, because that would be bad. Then our heart,
yeah, that'd be really
everything
bad,
would kind of stop.
I mean,
working.
that's why it's really bad when, you know, one of your ribs can break. I mean, literally only one break can already risk your life. I mean,
Yeah.
let's just say,
like, if you break
a rib,
if you break a rib, especially, it's dangerous, especially if it's a
know
rib
what's really
up
bad?
in the higher part, then it can puncture a lung, you know.
you know what's really bad?
Hmm.
If you literally break your rib so bad it literally gets like, directly into your lung.
Yeah.
Literally all the air goes out,
Like if it was
sucking
like,
in your lung.
say, like if it was like like one of the higher parts.
Let's just make, we're gonna make a little, how to say this,
Broken rib.
presentation here. So ladies and gentlemen, as you can see right over here, we have a little part of the lung. Imagine this is a lung. Now imagine this part of the rib would be broken. Now what is really dangerous is if the one of the ribs gets broken so much that it literally punctures into the lung, which provokes the lung to be, how to say this,
Punctured.
Punctured, and the lungs will
So, okay, what Deadman is trying to say, when a rib punctures a lung, our lungs are basically just always filled with air, and it acts as a balloon. So once that is punctured, our lung will deflate, and it'll be rendered useless, and it'll be harder to breathe.
Easily said. Basically, imagine that you have a balloon in your hands, and then you just like you squeeze, like you take a needle, and then you put the needle into a balloon. Obviously, balloon will just deflate, and yeah, that's how your lung will act as well. Yeah. Going to the next part of the body is also the bones from the leg, but it's not really, it's not something we should really talk about a lot because we also have more other stuff to do.
Yeah.
But all we can say about this is that the bones in the leg are holding our legs
Up.
up.
Basically, keeping
I
us.
mean, without the bones, we wouldn't be able to stand. That's the important thing.
Yeah. Let's go into the heart.
So this is the heart. Obviously, heart doesn't really look like that way, but let's just say heart is the one of the most important organs of our organs. It's one of the most important organs in a human body.
So, the heart has the most important job pumping. Pumping blood through our entire body with through veins? It pumps blood cells which carry oxygen through our entire body. Without that oxygen, then nothing would work. Everything would kind of just die out, basically. So the heart has the most important things. That's why when your heart stops, it can't pump blood, and if you can't pump blood, then everything will stop working. And the heart has one of the most important jobs in the human body.
That is true, and there's also the special thing about heart. If you have never had this in school, I had. Pretty much, if you remember, sometimes at the PE they also measure your heartbeat. You know, if it's normal, people say it's normal if it's from 60 to 90 per minute, I think. And yeah, that's I just wanted to point out this thing because I thought it would be interesting.
Going to the brain.
Yeah, going on the brain. Yeah, would you start? I'm just gonna continue then.
The brain is basically what makes us think. It gives us all our thoughts, our movements. It kind of controls everything by sending electrical impulses or charges throughout the body with our nerves, and the nerves is what connects the brain. So any movement you do, it's thought by electricity in the brain. And with science now kind of coming in and learning more about the brain, we have found out that we can live with half a brain, or even we can also live without a brain too, when all we need is a brain stem, and the brain stem is basically what holds up the brain in our head.
So psychologically, the function of the brain is to exert decentralized control over the other organs of the body. The brain acts on the rest of the body both by generating patterns on muscle activity and by driving the secretion of chemicals and called hormones. The centralized controls allows rapid and coordinated responses to changes in the environment. Some basic types of responsiveness such as reflexes can be mediated by the spinal cord or peripheral chemicals called hormones. This centralized control allows the pineal ganglia, but sophisticated purposeful control of the behavior based on complex sensory input requires the information integrating capabilities of the centralized brain. That's about the brain, and now going to the stomach. The first thing I'm gonna say is the most general thing you should know about the stomach is that it's the most important part of the digestive system.
So the stomach, from the mouth, the food from your mouth goes down the esophagus, all chewed up and in bits, and once it reaches the stomach, this is basically where the main part of the digestive system happens. It gets broken down with stomach acid known as hydrochloric acid, which is very, very potent. So to say if you had a drop and you were to put some on your hand, it would burn right through. And
so about the absorption of the stomach, although the absorption is mainly a function of the small intestine, some absorption of certain small molecules nevertheless does occur in the stomach through its lining. This includes water if the body is dehydrated, medication like aspirin, amino acids, 10 to 20% of the ingested ethanol, also known as from alcoholic beverages, caffeine, water-soluble vitamins. The perishable cells of the stomach are responsible for producing intrinsic factor, which is necessary for the absorption of vitamin B12. B12 is used in the cellular metabolism and is necessary for the production of the red blood cells and function of the nervous system.
Nice. So
this is the first female organ we're about to present. These are the breasts/boobs/titties. The breast is the tissue overlying the chest, pectoral muscles. Women's breasts are made of a specialized tissue that produces milk. glandular tissue, as well as a fatty tissue. The amount of fat determines the size of the breast. The milk-producing part of the breast is organized into 5 to 20 sections called lobes. Within each lobe are smaller structures called lobules, where milk is produced. The milk travels through the network of tiny tubes called ducts. The ducts connect, then come together into larger ducts, which eventually exit the skin in the nipple. The dark area of the skin surrounding the nipple is called areola. Connective tissue and the ligaments provide support to the breast and give its shape. Nerves provide a sensation to the breast. The breast also contains blood vessels, and lymph nodes.
So now, on to the next part.
The next part is obviously the female vagina. So yeah, the vagina is a muscular and tubular part of the female genital tract, which in humans extends from the vulva to the cervix. The outer vaginal opening may be partly covered by membrane called the hymen. At the deep end, the cervix, neck of the uterus, bulges into the vagina. The vagina allows for sexual intercourse and childbirth, and channels menstrual flow, which occurs periodically as a part of the menstrual cycle. With regard to sexual activity, vaginal moisture is increased during sexual arousal for both human females and other female mammals. This is by way of vaginal lubrication, which reduces friction and allows for smoother penetration of the vagina during sexual activity. The texture of the vaginal walls creates friction for the penis during sexual intercourse and stimulates it towards ejaculation, enabling fertilization. Along with the pleasure and bonding, sexual behavior among women, which may include heterosexual or lesbian sexual activity, can also come with the risk of sexually transmitted infections, STIs, in which case safe-sex practices are recommended. Certain disorders may also affect human vagina. And now going to the next sexual organ that is male, we call it the penis. So, ladies and gentlemen, the human penis is an external male instrumented organ that additionally serves as the urinal duct. The main parts are the root, radix, body corpse, and the epithelium of the penis, including the shaft skin and the foreskin covering the glans penis. The body of the penis is made up of the three columns tissue, two corpora cavernosa on the dorsal side and corpus spongiosum between them in the ventral side. The human male urethra passes through the prostate gland, where it is joined to the ejaculatory duct, and then through the penis. The urethra traverses the corpus spongiosum, and its opening, the meatus, lies on the tip of the glans penis. It is a passage for both urination and ejaculation of the semen. So normally said, basically what penis is used for is to pee or ejaculate into the female's vagina, or when they get a blowjob. So the next one is liver. Now since I've talked too much, Antdog, take over the liver.
The liver is basically one of the most important parts of our body, which helps out get rid of all dangerous chemicals through and putting them through the urinary tract, so we don't keep them inside of our body. Liquid passes through it, and with anything, if anything good like vitamins, minerals, and stuff like that, it gets absorbed into the body. But if it's horrible and it's bad for the body, then it gets transformed into urine and out through the urinary tract. But we should. Oh, okay. But hold on, oh no, that's the next thing. I am sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So what were you saying?
Cool. So we should call this liver a cleaning organ.
Basically. I mean.
That is correct.
Yeah.
I mean, it cleans all the absorption, so it's all good in the hood then. So next organ we're gonna talk about are the kidneys. Now kidneys are also important when it comes to pee and all the semen stuff. So I'm gonna take over to Antdog.
It helps out with maintaining and stabilizing your electrolytes. It helps clean, but if you do, what is it? Okay, what causes it? Oh yeah, I think it's too much soda and anything bad for the kidneys. It'll create kidney stones, and it'll go try and get out through the urinary tract, and that'll be horrible because you don't want that. So water helps clean anything out, any other extra chemicals. Water is a good idea, or even any helpful juice with antioxidants or drinks will help clean your body throughout everything. And there's also foods that'll help. So anything you want to add?
Yeah, I want to add something. Now, I don't really want to put any hate or any promotion of fizzy drinks, but ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, Coke or all these fizzy drinks are actually really bad.
Yeah.
Not that just doctors say that to you. It's actually bad. I mean, most of the people cure cancer on the kidneys just because of the fizzy drinks.
Well,
actually
going back to Coca-Cola or any drink for that matter that's dark, like a dark drink like that, what they use to make the drink dark is really horrible for the body. And
it's caramel. Apparently.
Yeah. I mean, it's caramel coloring, but there's also another factor in there, and it's horrible for the body. I mean, yeah, it may taste good, but it's just still bad for it, and also for your teeth.
I mean, that is true, especially for teeth. Now, you can test it out if you don't believe it. I mean, obviously, when you're gonna drink Coke, try to touch your teeth with your tongue. You're gonna see there's so much sugar on your teeth that it's unbelievable. Now, just to say, okay, there's nothing wrong if you drink like one Coke per like 1 month. There's nothing gonna be wrong, just that it's not every day. Then obviously it's gonna go to hell.
Like
going to the last piece of oh yeah, I'm sorry, what did you want to add?
Oh, what I was gonna say with the teeth, I know I do this is because if you just drink a soda straight up, like if you take sips and stuff, you're not allowing the sugar to get off your teeth, and it kind of speeds up the rotting process, so you can get cavities, like more cavities easier. So I know I do this a lot. Even in streams, what I do is if I have a soda, I take a sip and then drink water, like a sip of water, to get off all the sugar. So, and it helps a lot too in flossing.
That's correct. And now going to the last part for this show, we have the skull. So we all know the skull is the part where the skin is covered over the head. I mean, over the skull, so it all makes it look like a normal head. So, if you want to talk about it, tell me.
The skull helps protect.
I'm interested.
The skull protects the brain, in the main part, and like the big, like in the back of their head. It protects the brain. The brain's in the middle of there, and also has a place for the eyes, the eye sockets, and they're going back to the nose. There's a nose in there. So if we weren't to have any of the, any of the cartilage around the nose, it would just kind of look like that. And have the bridge of the nose would be there, but that would be pretty much it. So, and also
now,
the teeth.
The good thing about the nose, though, if we haven't said it before, if you don't clean your nose, something called booger would come out of it. I'm gonna presentate by putting myself out, but that's actually correct. It goes out of the booger can come out of your nose. Yet I still don't know what does actually provoke that. Can you explain me that if you don't?
It's just built up mucus.
Oh, okay, sweet. Cool. People might Google that. But I think that's pretty much it for this show. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the newest documentary about human body. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you want us to do more documentaries like this, be sure to check our description below or the comment section where you can suggest us the other stuff that we will do for you guys. So yeah, be sure to check out also both of our channels in the description below. And that's all from me. Is there, you wanna mention anything for the end? Any honorable mentions, Antdog?
Thank you, Elite, for the suggestions. We'll be sure to get to the other two or three, I think, I believe. The other two suggestions later.
Yeah, all the suggestions that we get to the Elite Expense 12. But that has been it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day, and
peace.
Enjoy the rest of the night in peace.